Welcome in, guys. It is Brad with College SportsCast, and it is March, baby.
Thank you for tuning in to College SportsCast. College SportsCast presents Wildcat Weekly.
What is up, guys? It is Brad with College SportsCast. We are here to do another episode of Wildcat Weekly for you. I've got John Hammonds on here with me. What's up, Hammonds?
What's up, man? How's it going?
It's March, baby.
Yep.
Are you excited for March?
I definitely am, Brad. I definitely am.
So, what's your favorite part of March? Is it Selection Sunday? Is it first weekend in NCAA? Is it the SEC tournament? What's your favorite part?
I would have to say it's probably the tournament, the conference tournaments. I like the smaller tournament games. Now, I like the SEC tournament. I like the ACC, but I like the little small tournaments because you got teams that are playing for a right to go to the big dance. And a lot of these teams don't have that opportunity. And for them to get to a championship game and win, the whole rushing the floor, the little school making it, and then, you end up as a 16 seed. And congratulations, you get Michigan in the first game. You get to celebrate for about 24 hours, and then you have to focus in on Michigan, Duke.
Task at hand, yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of variables there. So, but yeah, I like the little games. I like the little conference tournaments. I like the SEC tournament. I think the SEC tournament. And, I'm going to say this real quick. A lot of people say, the SEC tournament don't matter. It does. We haven't won a tournament title since 2018, Brad. And for me, it's a big deal because it's the tournament before the tournament. You get what I'm saying? Like you're playing for a chance to go into the tournament playing your best basketball.
To right
the ship. So,
yeah.
And I think it's a really big deal. And a lot of people say, well, I wish they would just do away with it. Listen, if they do away with these conference tournaments, it wouldn't be fair, Brad. I think that is one of the biggest money makers in college basketball. It's a big deal.
It's what gives every school a chance.
It does. And that's like I said, you have the little teams like the Wright States, the A-10.
You can go 15-14. You can beat Auburn right now, and you can make a run in the SEC tournament, and you can get in.
And you have the American East tournament. You have the Patriot League. You have there's so many small tournaments. The Sun Belt. You got teams that maybe don't make the tournament normally that find a way to get to their championship game. And, hey, all you got to do is win one game and you're in.
And they go dancing.
They do. And it's like a big deal to that little school.
All right, John, before we get started here, man, this is Wildcat Weekly. And if you're on Facebook with us, we appreciate you. Hit that subscribe. It's only 99 cents a month. Gives you your own subscribers page and a chat that we are in. We have grown that just a little bit. Had a few move into our subscription lately, and just want to say thank you, Larry Milan, Greg McNatt. I just want to say thanks for the subscription and give you a shout out here on the show. With that, man, we're going to try to get things kind of rolling here tonight. I feel like we've got a lot to talk about. One last thing before we do, while we are talking here tonight on the show, I'm going to get the QR code up that we normally do. It's at the top left of the screen. Here at the Wildcat Weekly Show, we do our home field apparel link. This is a QR code up there at the left. You can scan that code. Check out the retro vintage Kentucky gear, man. It's really cool stuff. If you're looking for some new gear for March to wear something cool, they usually have some kind of madness deal going on right now. It's really cool stuff. Check it out. Use our code CSCast. I'm going to leave that up on the screen. The QR code will be at the top while we're talking tonight. And let's go and look at some comments. I think I've seen Braden on here. What's up, Braden? Got to give a shout out to my son here being on with us tonight. So what's up, Braden? Big month for basketball. Absolutely. It is March, and always excited for March. This is one of my favorite times of the year. Couple of things from Braden there. This guy says he loves Selection Sunday. There that is. Checking out a couple of comments here. And it looks like Josh is on. What's up, guys? We appreciate you guys being with us tonight, and share, like, love the comments. Tell others about us.
Let's just dig into, the Vanderbilt Kentucky game while, let's just go right to it, Brad.
It was a big game, and that is the first topic tonight. Let me get that pulled up here. Hang on just a second.
Say this. I've been going to a lot of games in Rep Arena. Saturday might be in my top 5 of loudest environments that I've been in. From the get-go, it was loud. The fans were engaged. I mean, what a half of basketball, Brad. They was so hot offensively in the first half. They had 18 points before the first media timeout.
Yeah.
And
we had some games we had 18 points at the 4-minute timeout. It seems like
they just kept that up. They shot 55% in the first half. They was 9 of 16 from 3-point range. Speaking of range, Colin Chandler put on a show. He made 5 threes in the first half, Brad. And, I look back at it, all 5 stars from Kentucky, they all managed to have 5 points. I think Aberdeen was second behind Chandler with 8, with 2 3-pointers in the first half. But the biggest stat of all in this game was Kentucky only had 3 turnovers.
Yeah, and that's actually going to be key this week, to be honest with you. But we'll get to that. But here in this Vanderbilt game, you're talking about Colin Chandler and how hot he is. I want to give you a stat that is going to surprise a lot of Kentucky fans. Okay, Kobe Brea last year in SEC play only. All right, I'm only talking about SEC play. In SEC play, Kobe Brea shot 39.8% from the 3-point line last year. Colin Chandler right now is shooting 48.8% in SEC play only. Everybody thinks Kobe Brea was like the best shooter ever last year. In SEC play only, he was 39.8. And Colin Chandler is 48.8 in SEC play only right now. It's an amazing stat to me when you like it doesn't seem like that's the way it would be, John, but what do you think about that stat?
It's just impressive. Like I said, they were red hot. They shot 54% from the field, 55. They was 9 of 16 from 3. They opened up a 20-point lead. It kind of got sloppy towards the end of the first half.
He's the latter-day sniper.
But Vanderbilt, I think they cut it to 15 before halftime. Vanderbilt never led after the opening minute of the game. And they went down double digits, I think, real early. They pulled within 48-36, I think, in the first half, but they could never – that second half, they never really could get under double digits in the second half, Brad. And just positive game for Chandler.
What's up, Shane?
And here's the thing. Kentucky is in a situation now where they're in an opportunity where they can get a first round bye in the opening day of the SEC tournament.
Yeah.
And here's another funny stat. Vanderbilt was 16-0 to start the year, okay? They're 3-4 since losing to Oklahoma at home.
They're actually now, John, 22-7. So they're 6-7 in their last 13 games. Vanderbilt is. I mean, it's a pretty telling stat on how tough the SEC really is, to be quite honest with you. Because this Vanderbilt team is a pretty damn good team. I will say this. They went up one spot in the AP poll today, which actually surprised me. They were 25th last week. They're now 24th, and we beat them pretty handily, on Saturday, John. Were you surprised that they went up a spot?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, they didn't play good. I mean, they hit a few shots here and there. I just don't think they played Vanderbilt basketball. Kentucky kind of got them out of their game. You know, Tyler Tanner couldn't drive like he normally does. Now, he did make a few shots late in the game, early in the second half, but I felt like they kind of shut their main two guys off, which was Nickel and Tanner. And when you take Tanner and Nickel out of their comfort zone, they did a really good job on Nickel. I believe. I mean, he's the one that can bury them from three. To be quite honest with you, Tanner's a flasher and can get to the rim, and he's pretty elusive. But Nickel, like, he did get some shots off. We were just, putting a hand up, getting out on him, and he missed several in the first half. So it was a good thing for Kentucky because Kentucky needed this win. They needed to avenge that loss at Memorial Gym last month. That was horrific. Like, they just didn't play with any energy that night. And to come back at Rupp and to get this win in the fashion that they did and play a complete game. Shane just said he thought it was one of their more complete games. I thought that Arkansas, maybe the second half of St. John's, but that was a long time ago. I want to say something real quick. Wk-28, I got to interview him Saturday. What he is doing, Brad, is hard to believe. He has now scored 20 or more points in an SEC game for the 20th time in his career. It is the most 20-point SEC games by any Kentucky player in the last 30 years, which was the previous mark held by Antonio Reeves.
Yeah. I'll give you another stat that I think is pretty telling for Wk-28. There's only been 2 transfers ever to score 500 or more points in a single season in back-to-back years for Kentucky. Oscar Tshiebwe and Wk-28 are the only 2 transfers, including Reeves, who got really close to doing it. But, that's the only 2 transfers that's ever scored 500 points in back-to-back years, in a 2-year span, basically. That's a pretty big stat as well, John. Owe, I know that some fans seem to not be able to forget the first 5-8 games this year, it seems like. But, man, he has really stepped up and become the player that we all thought he was going to be this year.
And he's very humble. I got to meet him Saturday for the first time, just one-on-one. And the way he talks, the way he's energized, the way his attitude is right now, his attitude is why Kentucky is playing at the level that they're playing at right now. basically him and Chandler. And I don't want to leave out Aberdeen. And I want to go back to this, Brad.
Three-headed goat. Isn't that what he said? Three-headed goat or something like that?
Yeah, something like that, yeah. And it was a funny thing because I asked him, I said, what are you going to do for an encore at the SEC tournament? And I said, you had the game winner against Oklahoma last year. I said, what can Big Blue Nation expect? And he said, I hope it ain't a daggone buzzer beater. He's like, I hope we win by like
a bunch.
100 points, seems like. Yeah, but it was kind of funny, like back and forth with him. But with Denzel, Aberdeen, and Otega Oweh, it's senior day next week, Brad, or Saturday. What are you going to remember? Which, Denzel's only been here for a year. But I wanted to ask you this question because me and you have covered Oweh the 2 years that he's been here. What is one thing that you're going to remember Otega Oweh by?
Probably, I definitely am going to remember him for his rim finishes. That's one thing I'll say, but it's it's probably the all-out effort that I will remember him the most. Like he plays downhill with a passion and with a power for a 6'4", 6'5" guy, whatever he is. He's not real big, to be honest. And he plays with that kind of passion and power. And to be honest with you, Colin Chandler's been playing with that too. And Aberdeen has too. Aberdeen's not as he's not as high flyer as those two, but they have really been playing with some passion and some fire. And I like the way all three have been playing, to be honest. Aberdeen, it's going to be his senior day as well. I want to throw this in. Honestly, without Aberdeen moving positions, doing something that he did not even come here to do, and stepping up and becoming the point guard. Saturday, John, there was a time where he had played like over 120 minutes and had like one turnover. And as the point guard of this team, he's just doing an all-around excellent job moving to that position and playing out of position. He's really a two guard, and having to come in and lead this team is something pretty special.
I want to say this to Otega. If Otega's watching, it's been the most impressive legacies that this program has ever seen from a transfer perspective. The way he came in, a lot of people wasn't expecting a lot, Brad.
Him and Reeves and Oscar are some damn good transfers, man.
And you know who he's in that, top scoring seasons group with? He's with Kyle Macy.
Yep.
Bob Burrow from the 50s. That's elite company, Brad. Oscar Sheboy, Antonio Reeves.
Yeah.
I think Oscar Sheboy's on there twice. And so is Otega.
Yeah.
So, and then I kind of want to get to Aberdeen. For him to step into his role, not a point guard, more or less a two guard, and to come in and slide into that role and play that role effectively is just pretty amazing. Let's just be honest, because you got a guy that goes down, Jalen Lowe. You got Jayden Quaintance go down. And I mentioned that in an article that I wrote yesterday about Malachi Marino. I want to say what I want to say about Malachi here while we're on this is Malachi was just want to be a contributor off the bench, Brad. You had Brandon Garrison struggle a little bit on the year. Then you had Jayden Quaintance go down. Woo! Then in walks Malachi Marino. He steps into a starter role. The kid is what, 18, 19 years old?
Yeah.
He was playing in a regional tournament last year at
This time. Yeah.
And his progression from early in the year as a freshman to the end of this year, had the big shot against LSU, won the game winner, got some rebounds in a couple of games that saved our tail. The kid is improving week by week by week. And I'm going to say this, and I was joking with a media member Saturday about it, but it's true. Colin Chandler's going to get paid this offseason. He's going to get paid. And if I'm Kentucky,
I hope he stays.
And if I'm Kentucky, I'm working on that deal right now because there's going to be some teams that's going to call and check on him. And that's just how the portal goes. And if you're Kentucky, I lock him up.
Immediately.
Because from last year.
Moreno, I'll be honest with you. I know you're improving. I know your stock is rising a little bit, man. But if you come back, I'm telling you right now, your stock can be lottery. I think you have that in you. I really do.
I think he does too. And to add to Chandler, from last year to this year, I have never seen growth in a player more than I've seen in Chandler from last year to this year. This guy was on a mission for what? What was it, Brad?
Nearly 2 years.
Almost 2 years.
Yeah, 20 months.
He came on at the end. He came on at the end of last year. Hit some big shots in the tournament against Illinois. Hit some big shots in the Troy game in the first round.
I mean, the truth is, John, he struggled a little bit earlier this season.
He did, and he kind of saw the bench. Like he got into the doghouse a little bit, and he figured things out. Now, let's be fair. He had a bad game against South Carolina, but not so much him. It was the whole team. They just didn't play up to par, which they found a way to win. He hit a big shot late in the game.
He still hit a big shot late, had a dunk late, had a steal late. So
and then Saturday, he went full Steph Curry.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah, Colin Curry.
Let's just call it what it is. He basically went Steph Curry SG. So I just want to say to Ortega and Denzel while we're on the senior thing, I wish you all luck and endeavors in your new careers. Ortega has placed a legacy at this program that is just going to be remembered for a long time. There's going to be a lot of people look back and see the importance and remembrance of what Ortega Owe put on this program.
There's only been one other 00 in program history that I can ever really remember. I'm sure there's been more, but Tony Delk was quite honestly one of my heroes. To be honest with you, he TD, which is what everybody called him, Tony Delk. The 00 is synonymous with Kentucky, but I'm gonna tell you right now, OO, which is what the 00 stands for Ortega Owe, the OO. You're definitely going to be right there for the 00 at the University of Kentucky. All right, John, we mentioned it once already, but surprisingly, even after 3 straight losses, Kentucky comes back, gets the win on the road to South Carolina, and then beats Vandy. And you look at the standings, John, and Kentucky is up to 5th in the standings, and the path to a double bye is still in play.
Yeah, it's there. It is. I think you got to win the A&M game tomorrow, which is going to be tough. I just now saw the line. It came out. A&M's a 1.5-point favorite. 1.5. I feared to be much more, Brad. Honestly.
Yeah, it did. It did come out.
Here's the thing. Are we talking about A&M right now, or what's up?
I was just talking about the path. Basically, is what I was wanting to talk about.
I think you got to win A&M game tomorrow. It would be nice to kind of pull off the game against Florida Saturday.
So the path right now, John, Missouri has the tiebreaker on us. Missouri and us and somebody else is tied, I believe. Who is it, John?
Might be Arkansas.
No, Arkansas's one ahead of us.
Yeah, Tennessee. It might be Tennessee.
But anyways, Kentucky is 5th. Missouri has the tiebreaker on us right now. Missouri does have to play Arkansas. I think it's Saturday that Missouri plays Arkansas. So, I mean, there is a path. Actually, there is a path that the Kentucky, if they could beat A&M and Florida, there is a path for Kentucky to get to 3 seed in the SEC tournament. Arkansas's got to lose.
I'm going to say this about the A&M game tomorrow. I kind of wanted to bring this up. The Aggies like to shoot the 3 a lot. Buckyball. I think they shoot around 33s a game. I think they're shooting 36, 37 from deep. They're going to have to stay on some shooters. They're not, we talked about the going under screens stuff. You're not going to be able to do that against the A&M team because they like to shoot the 3. And if that's the case, it could get – we could get down double digits on the road. Now, if Kentucky can make, the Aggies uncomfortable, this is a game Kentucky can win. And I kind of go back to the whole turnovers thing. Buckyball is sort of like – I don't know if you've ever watched Buckyball, Bucky McMillan. They play a lot of full court pressure. They do a lot of stuff that creates turnovers, passing lanes. Now, if that happens, I think Kentucky's going to get some good looks. If they can take care of the ball, I believe Kentucky wins this game. If Kentucky turns it over quite a bit, we could be looking at another loss like, the Auburn game. So it's all about how we come out, how we start. A&M has not played good, Brad. This is a bubble game for A&M. Listen, A&M is playing for the NCAA tournament, and they're going to be ready to go. They're going to be locked and ready, and I think Kentucky needs to come out, just kind of punch them in the mouth.
I mean, that's what I was going to ask you about with A&M. There's a couple of things that I wanted to mention and kind of talk to you about as far as the A&M game. You already brought up one that A&M opened as a 1.5-point favorite. I mean, this is a home game, John. That basically means that this is a pick'em game, 1.5 points to be honest with you. But the other thing I wanted to mention is Bucky McMillan. It's the pressure. It's the press. It's the Patino style pressure. And tomorrow night, the Cats are going to have to be ready for that. And they cannot have 10, 12 turnovers in that first half.
Now, I'll say this to kind of go back off that. If you get off of that press and you push the ball out and you get shots, there's a good chance we could have another Colin Chandler Curry, Steph Curry moment. Like you get some guys hot. You could get Oweh going. You could get Chandler going. You could get Aberdeen going from 3, maybe Yelovich a little bit.
Yeah, if you break the press, you can get layups and you can get 3-pointers.
And then I'm going to kind of go on to the Florida for Senior Day. Everybody wants to beat Florida Saturday. I get it. I do. You was only down 2 on the road to them late in the second half. It was like 15 minutes, 16 minutes. We had an opportunity, and Florida just kind of shot out of their tail. That they normally don't shoot good from 3. Xavier and Lee went crazy. We had Condon, Thomas Houck went ballistic.
Yeah, but John, Florida has put it together. They've been playing.
The thing about Florida that concerns me about this game is their front court. And I said that in the last game.
Best in the country.
They're just so good defensively. They play really good defense. They score. They hit shots. They just do everything right. And I said it a couple of weeks ago. If Florida keeps playing at the level that they're playing at, there's a good chance this Florida team is going back to the national championship.
Well, one thing for sure, you can't let Boogie Flan, Lee, and Clavar or whatever his name is. You can't let them 3 outplay Aberdeen, OA, and Chandler.
Let's just say for what it is. You're probably going to be the underdog in this game, most likely. You're probably 3, 4 points, 5 possibly.
Yeah,
you beat A&M and you lose to Florida, you basically end the year 2-1.
And you're probably a 5 seed. You're probably a 5 seed.
And if you look at the bracket, it kind of sets up for Kentucky, which they would have to play Florida probably a third time, which it's hard to beat a team 3 times. But
semifinals. That would be semifinals. Yeah.
Because then you would have to play most likely Missouri again.
Yeah.
In a rematch.
And Missouri actually is a team I think that we could play with and possibly beat, to be honest with you. I'm not saying that for sure we're going to win the game. I'm just saying it's a game that Kentucky could play in and win.
I want to say this too before we go on to the women. I know people are kind of jumping down the throat of Pope and all this fan craze stuff. But you got to consider what he's had the last 2 years. Me and you talked about this the other night. The roster, the injuries. Okay, you lose at home to Missouri in a game that you basically had won down the stretch. I mean, you had what? A 6-7 point lead. You had the North Carolina game where you had what? A 5 point lead with 5 minutes to go, 4 minutes.
Yeah.
You had the Georgia game where you was up, 9 in the first half?
Yeah.
9, 10 points.
They cut it to 3 and went to the free throw line for 3 free throws and had a chance in that game as well.
Then you had the Auburn game, which everybody can say, well, there was a controversial foul. There was a controversial call at the end of the game. But if Kentucky get the rebound, if they actually block out, they win the game.
Yeah.
We're basically looking at 3 or 4 extra wins, and Kentucky's probably a 3 or a 4 seed, Brad.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
In the NCAA tournament. Instead, we're at the 6-7 line. And everybody wants to say, well,
I'm going to give you another stat.
It don't really matter. We lost the games. Well,
in 2 seasons, Mark Pope right now has played 52 games against power conference teams. Do you know that only 5 of those 52 games that Kentucky has had a healthy roster under Mark Pope? 5 of 52 power conference games has Kentucky had a full healthy roster.
And while we're on the topic, I don't know if everybody's seen today, but apparently Jayden Quaintance.
That was actually my next topic. So
is going to have a strength test, according to Jack Pilgrim. And if he is ready, he's probably going to be back for the SEC tournament and give it a go.
And I have also heard that Cam Williams may be able to be back sometime in tournament play. I'm not sure if it will be at the beginning of the SEC tournament or if he'll wait to the NCAA tournament or exactly what the timetable is. But I have heard that Cam Williams may return for tournament play as well.
And I'm going to go as far as saying this. And I had a lot of fans on a post earlier say, well, he needs to sit. He needs to sit. Listen, I don't care if you hate the situation all year. I don't care what his dad said. I don't care what the media has said. You put a top 10, 12 draft pick in this lineup.
Listen, he won't be a starter, John. He'll probably come off the bench.
Probably come off the bench, most likely.
Yeah, I mean, we're not talking about somebody that's going to come in and play 32, 35 minutes a game here. Mm-hmm. I don't think either one of them will. I don't think Cam will either. But to have them come off the bench and maybe give you 18 minutes,
Well,
20 minutes.
Wyman, I get that. He said there's definitely concern there about breaking up team chemistry if those players return. I get that, Wyman, but at the same time, if you have a chance to put a top pick,
you have to take that chance because here's the deal, Wireman. If they can come in and give this team a boost, could this team become a Elite Eight team?
maybe.
I mean, honestly.
But you're banking on Jayden Quaintance being Jayden Quaintance. And if he's not at that,
I'm not saying he's gonna come in and average 15 and 10 and play 28 minutes. But
okay,
let's put it this way: if he comes in Brandon Garrison's role and he can get his 10 and 8 and block 3 shots off the bench in 18 minutes, that's pretty damn good, is it not?
And I'll say this to add to your point. If you get Jayden Quaintance from, let's say, the St. John's game,
and he just had like 10 and 8 and a couple of block shots.
It's possible this team is Sweet 16 Elite 8 material, but you're banking on JQ.
That's what we're talking about is JQ.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
I just think you give this kid a chance. You give him a chance to get back on the floor. I saw him Saturday. The kid wants to play, Brad. You can see it on his face. He's wanting to be out there. I think a lot of fans are being kind of overbearing.
I'll be honest with you. I really don't even care about what the fans say or think about it. I just know as a team and as a university and as a coach and as a school and with a chance and a playoff and making a run and everything, you have to. I don't give a crap what the fans say or think about it, to be honest with you.
Yep. But
I mean, I'm just saying, really, I don't. Like, you have to. If there's a chance and the kid says he's ready to go and the doctors say he's ready to go, you have to. That's what I say. You have to. You don't have a choice. Like, that's what you signed him up for. That's the reason why he's here. That's the reason why he's been rehabbing. It's just you have to. You don't have a choice, to be honest, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
All right. We are going to move on from the men. We are going to get to the women's team here, John. I was at Memorial yesterday, and, man, the girls played one of the toughest games against South Carolina that anybody has played this entire season. It was a 2-point game with 18 seconds to go, with 14 seconds to go. No, it was a 2-point game with 7 seconds to go. 6 seconds to go. And they had a chance. They missed a layup late. They got the rebound. They had to, they called a timeout and they had to take it out of bounds, and the out of bounds play worked in their favor. To be honest with you, we got crossed up on defense because 2 players ran into each other on defense, to be honest with you. And they got a layup and beat us 60-56.
You know what's amazing though, Brad? South Carolina had a 13-point lead
twice
into the fourth quarter.
Not once, twice. They had a 13-point lead in this game twice. And these girls come back on South Carolina, on Dawn Staley, twice.
And they cut the deficit, I think, to 3 with 3 minutes to go. But the biggest thing that they didn't do was they didn't score over the last 2 minutes.
They missed a couple of free throws down the stretch that could have possibly won them a game, to be honest with you. There was a bad call or two, but missing a layup, missing some free throws is really what cost them the game here, to be honest.
Yeah, and Medina Aycock for South Carolina, she really had a big night.
She was special.
21 points. you just can't do the things that they did and beat a team like South Carolina. And it's tough because the girls are so close, Brad. I said it, they had the Texas game where they was, two behind. Then they had the Vanderbilt game where they led the entire night. In the fourth quarter, they collapsed. In Memorial.
Lost by 2. Lost by 1 to Vandy the first time at home.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just been one of those seasons. They lost. They had a chance at Tennessee, could have got the ball in and got a shot for a win. They didn't get that. I mean, that was a 2-point game. It goes on, to be honest with you. The Georgia game wound up being a 5-point game, but it was a 1 or 2 point game. We had to foul. They went to the free throw line. Wound up being 5, I think. The Georgia game was. There's just been so many games that they lost at basically a 1-possession game. But what I'm proud of, man, is this was senior night. And I just want to give a shout out to Tiani Key, Amelia Hassett, Jordan Obie, Tony Morgan, and Josie Gilvin. It was a special night. If you go to my Facebook page, I have a full video of the ceremony for senior night. Go to our College SportsCast and our Facebook page.
You want to know?
There's clips of it as well. But Dawn Staley in South Carolina, John, there's not much better in women's basketball.
They just beat you in ways, and she knows how to.
They beat Tennessee by 43,
and she just knows when to call a timeout. They know when to put the pressure on. They know when to. She's just such a good X's and O's coach, Brad.
This team averages 90 points a game. 60 points was their lowest output of the season.
I want to say this real quick about the seniors. There's somebody I want to kind of spotlight real quick. Josie Gilvin. I know that it's not been the season that you've.
It's all about sacrifice.
All about having, but to see you want to play for the blue and white, and to come out on that floor and get honored on senior day with very little playing time.
Yeah,
shows me what kind of character that girl has.
Yep, for sure.
We'll get into it next week, but there was one girl in Tennessee that didn't even see the floor as a senior.
Yeah.
And to me, that's disgraceful, and we'll talk about that next week. But I don't agree with that, Brad. When these seniors put in the work, I don't care if they even get.
Yesterday, John. I mean, when you're playing South Carolina, like you just there's no margin of error. I mean, the girls yesterday. John, just to throw this in here, for instance, okay, the girls yesterday, the first time that South Carolina got a 13-point lead on them, they fought all the way back and tied the game up. And within 2 minutes, they went on like a 15-2 run and pushed it right back out. In 2 minutes, and pushed it right back out to a 13-point lead. I mean, there's just no margin of error.
Well, and the thing about Kentucky, they're projected to be a 5 seed in the bracketology, which they at one point, Brad, they was right in that mix for a 2 seed.
That would have been great if they would have let Cassidy Rowe do senior night. I will agree with that.
The thing is, Brad, I think losing Tiani Key for a little bit kind of hurt them. They lost 4 games. They lost to Mississippi State, Tennessee, Georgia, that they should have not needed her to win. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
However, it is what it is. You got to date with Arkansas now, the last place team, on the first day of the SEC tournament, and it's not ideal.
That's what's next. I mean, Kentucky ended up 8-8 in conference play. They ended up in a 4-way tie, and they are in last place in that 4-way tie, and that leaves Kentucky in the 9th seed in the SEC tournament, and they have to play on Wednesday, the opening game. So they're going to have to go through 5 games it's just not ideal, but they do open up with Arkansas, who's a 16 seed. It's a game, quite honestly, that they absolutely have to win.
Well, and if you beat Georgia, guess what? You get a quarterfinal match with South Carolina again. So,
I mean, I want to run through their so they do play Arkansas on Wednesday. I'm just running through what Kentucky girls are facing. They do play Arkansas on Wednesday, and if they win that, they are matched up with the 8 seed Georgia, who beat them by 5 on their home floor. That was without Tiani Key. So we will see what happens. But, then, John, you are so right. If they happen to win those two in the quarterfinals, the mighty South Carolina Gamecocks, who
and here's my thing.
Just lost to yesterday, 60-56, await on Friday in the quarterfinals.
Here's my thing about the SEC tournament with playing on Wednesday. Tired legs. You have the Arkansas game. You win that game. You say you beat Georgia.
Yeah.
Then Friday comes. South Carolina has had
South Carolina's going to have 5 days rest.
They're going to have 5 days rest, and you're basically playing on back-to-back
days. 3 straight days. Third day. Yeah.
And I've seen it with the men. I've seen it with the women in these games where the legs get tired. They do good for a little bit, but then everything just kind of falls apart. It's not ideal. It's not great. But here's the thing, Brad. Kentucky had their chances all season long. They had the Georgia game. They let slip up. The Mississippi State game, they was right in the mix for that one. There was so many games that they was right there, and they just kind of let the game slip. You had turnovers. There was a couple games where they threw the ball away at times. Now they did get the big win against LSU, which I thought was great for their resume. They beat Florida, a Florida team that's kind of playing their way into the tournament, especially in this SEC tournament.
They beat Oklahoma. They beat Ole Miss. I mean, the girls, So I mean, they've got some good wins. They beat Louisville on the road.
They did
early in the season. I mean, this team really is a good team. Wireman, yeah. I do believe that they are so close. They just got to learn to finish these games and quit snubbing the ball out of bounds and turnovers and bad passes and stuff when it matters.
Silly mistakes, Brad. Silly mistakes. Just not really silly mistakes, just error-prone moments when they don't need that.
When the game is on the line, when you need to make a play to win the game, they just haven't got over that hump. Maybe they will this week. I'll be there. I can't wait to go. I just want to point that out. I can't wait to go. I will be leaving early Wednesday morning to get there. So I will be there for the game against Arkansas.
Brad's excited about the food that they have there. So,
man, I just love the whole trip, man. I'm so stoked to go, to be honest with you. But I do, John, have a couple of things here real quick. Let me get, and this probably won't show the whole darn thing because I can never figure out it when I take a photo. Yeah, it's only going to show half.
I won't so much.
Yeah. I do have that, but I'll put that up in the background while we're talking about it anyway. I can never figure out how to get – I'm going to have to learn how to resize the pictures so they can actually be full screen on here.
That's wild. You're going to have to go through South Carolina and LSU. That's pretty insane.
All right. So, John, let's make some picks, all right? Mm-hmm. Let's make some picks for the SEC women's tournament here this week. I'm going to surprise you with this one. I didn't tell you I was going to do some picks, but let's do the semifinals. The quarterfinals, we know 4 teams is going to be in the quarterfinals. Who's going to make the semifinals in the women's bracket? You got South Carolina as the 1, Vandy as the 2, Texas as the 3, and LSU as the 4. Oklahoma is the 5. Tennessee is the 6. Ole Miss is 7. Georgia 8, and Kentucky 9. I'll just give you the top 9.
I'm going to go semifinals, South Carolina and LSU, and most likely Vanderbilt. And I think I'm going to go with Texas. I just think the top seeds are going to be too dominant in this tournament.
I mean, the top seeds are the ones really to kind of go with here, but you might be right. Finals, who do you have in your finals?
South Carolina and Vanderbilt.
Okay, Texas won it last year. They're the defending champs.
And I have Michaela Blake's going for 40 against South Carolina and winning the game.
Ooh, so you're going to take Vandy as your winner?
Yep.
All right, give me a sleeper. Who's a sleeper that you think could actually make a run in the tournament? I think Mississippi State and Florida need these games to possibly make the tournament.
I would say Georgia. I think Georgia's got a good chance. Maybe Florida, Mississippi State, but the problem you have there is Florida and Mississippi State play each other.
They do.
And somebody's getting knocked out. So,
yeah. That's actually going to be a really good game on Wednesday is Florida, Mississippi State.
If I had to pick the two sleepers, it would probably be Florida and Mississippi State, maybe even Georgia. Georgia's kind of come on. They're probably going to end up in the
I'm going to be honest with you. The top 4 are probably so dominant. I mean, honestly, you could put Oklahoma in that mix if you ask me.
I will say I'll put Kentucky in the quarterfinals. I think they get by Arkansas, and I think they get by Georgia.
I mean, I'm hoping, since I'm hoping that the girls can get there to Friday this year and have a rematch against the Gamecocks. I do agree with you, John, in the rematch on a day 3 when South Carolina has been rested up and waiting for you. I don't think it'll be a 4-point game again. I just don't think that they will be able to do that on day 3 in the quarterfinals. I think the girls will come up short against South Carolina. I was really hoping they would match up with Texas or Vanderbilt. To be honest with you,
it's the loss, the errors, the mistakes. It cost them, and it's not ideal. It is what it is.
All right, one more thing to preview the SEC women's basketball tournament, John. There is 5 players and 5 only that make the all-tournament team when the SEC tournament final is done on Sunday. Mm-hmm. I want you to give me your 5 all-tournament team players that make the women's 2026 SEC all-tournament team.
Clara Strack, Michaela Blakes, Madison Booker, Joyce Edwards for South Carolina, and I'm going to go with LSU, Flau'jae Johnson.
I mean, those are 5 really excellent players. The SEC is so loaded with talent, man. Like anybody could be on there. Oklahoma has got some that could be there. Listen, the way Aubrey Galvin is playing, I mean, she could be there. I'm just giving you some sleepers that could be there. I think Aubrey Galvin, for a freshman on the Vandy team, that could be there. Michaela Williams from LSU could be there. Malaysia Fawiley, LSU, could be there if they make a good run here in the tournament. And, of course, South Carolina. I mean, Medina Ocock yesterday was fantastic. And if she plays like that, she's going to be there, to be honest with you.
Yeah, she's going to be in the mix. Yep.
Yeah, in the mix for the all-tournament team. Just throwing out some names. Liv McGill, Florida, but you can't play one game on Wednesday and make the all-tournament team. That's not the way this works. You got to make a run in the tournament.
Run in the tournament.
And so Clara Strack, You got to win some games. You can't play 1 or 2 games on Wednesday and Wednesday and Thursday and make the all tournament team. You got to at least get to Friday and have a 3-game run in, and get to the South Carolina game and the quarterfinals to have a chance to make the all tournament team here. So just to throw that out, I love getting to go as media. I actually get to vote for this team, John.
It's pretty neat.
It's pretty neat. I enjoy it every year. I have been 2 years. This will be my third. The last 2 years, I've got 4 out of 5 right in my voting that actually made the team the last 2 years. So we'll see if I can get 5 out of 5 this time, John. I'm not too sure, but I have got 4.
What's pretty crazy is you'll be in Greenville Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and I'll be in Lexington. Like, we'll be all over the place. I
probably, guys, will not get to see the Florida game, to be honest with you, on Saturday. I might get to watch the first half because it is an earlier game. But that's probably about it. I won't get to see the whole game on Friday. I am super stoked to be a part of the SEC women's tournament.
You'll see a lot of content. I'll put out content for Senior Day. It'll be me and Brad will have all kinds of content on Saturday. So they'll be.
And I'm going to have content Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday of the SEC women's tournament. So tune in to College SportsCast because we're going to be there and be a part of all this. I'm going to try to get lots of footage. Going to do a live each night from the arena probably and do a daily update and stuff like that. So just going to have lots of content for you guys and just super stoked to be a part of the SEC women's basketball tournament. Just want to put that out there.
Definitely. It's
always one of my favorite times of the year. You can ask John. I talk about it all the time and how much fun I have being a part of it. So just putting that out and can't wait to leave and head to Greenville. So just stoked about it. All right, John, I'm going to talk to you about the football for just a minute. You wasn't on the show last week. We had Coleman Scott on here last week. So I just want to ask you a little bit. So spring practices are expected to start next week sometime for spring practices. We are right here, starting with football pretty soon. It depends if he does a week before spring break or if he does it all after spring break, because the next week is spring break. So I don't know if he's going to start it next week, but that's what Stoops always did. So if he does what Stoops did, it'll start next week.
This is big, Brad. They've not played. This is a great opportunity for you to see a bunch of new look Kentucky guys. A lot of publicity as we head into talking season. Everybody knows what talking season is, where everybody gets on Twitter and all these other places and say, "Oh, my team's better than yours," or "My team's going to be last in the conference." Like it's just a fun year, summertime. Stein has got a lot of momentum, Brad. Kentucky has been thrown around as a fun pick for next season. And I just want to say, let's just enjoy what Will Stein is doing, because we don't want to be kind of brought down to earth by week 3 against Texas A&M or week 4 or whenever we play Alabama. Like, just enjoy the momentum and just see what happens. Like, it's going to be a new team, new coaching staff. It's going to be a lot of fun, Brad, and I'm really excited for Will Stein's, and his opportunity to show the world what he can do.
Yeah, I mean, I am too, John. It's going to be super fun to be. Hopefully we can be a small part of the spring practices and maybe the spring game. I'm trying to at least get the spring game for us. I'm not exactly sure.
I'll be honest with you. Speaking of, this team, they made a lot of investments here, Brad. Offensive line, quarterback. You got Nick Anderson. He played for Joe Sloan last year at LSU. I love Nick. I think Nick is a hard worker. One thing about Nick, he's very consistent when it comes to, catching the ball, his work.
He's a big receiver. He's 6'4".
Big receiver. You got, Lance Hurd, the guy from Tennessee, 5-star, played at LSU at one time.
Yep.
Really good football player. You got a bunch of kids that
C.J. Baxter was a 5-star.
Yeah, from Texas. Like, there's just a lot of momentum.
Mincy was a top 100, I'm pretty sure, wasn't he?
I'll tell you this much. I've been watching Kentucky football for, let's say, since I was a kid, probably the early 90s. And I have never
70 years.
Yeah, something like that. I have never seen them with momentum like I've seen on the recruiting trail, like I've seen this winter. And that says a lot.
It's definitely going to be fun. I can't wait for spring to start here. It's just around the corner. But, John, did you catch some of the NFL Combine stuff? Kentucky had 6 players there.
A little bit. I saw Seth McGowan.
Kind of impressive. Kentucky players had an impressive combine.
They did. David Gusta, he runs well for a big man.
Jayden Farmer, the big dudes, the big uglies on the defensive and offensive line was impressive. And Seth McGowan was flying high. I mean, the broad jump, the vertical jump, he had a really good 40 time. I think Kentucky had some players that improved their draft stock over the weekend.
They really did, Brad. And I don't think that you'll see many out of the first week.
Kendrick Law, too. Kendrick Law had a pretty good NFL combine. So
I still think you're not going to see many out of the first, round, second round.
I don't think first.
You might get one in the third.
Maybe.
But
I'm going to tell you, day 3, you're going to see some Kentucky Wildcats come off the board.
But I'm going to say this to add to next year. I think Lance Hurd's a top 30 pick.
Could be. He really could be.
I think C.J. Baxter is, if he can stay healthy and kind of get back to what he was.
Get back to what he was. And Nick Anderson could be.
That's another one. And here's something else I wanted to bring up. It's everybody. It happened about 2 hours ago. Our old coach, Mark Stoops, found a job at Texas. And I say that because I wish him well. And I wish him all the success.
It's a special assistant to the head coach. It's one of those analysis, behind the scenes type deal.
Like an Eddie Grant type thing.
Yeah. That's what it is.
I wish him well. Wish you well, Coach Stoops, in your endeavors. When I interacted with him, he was always nice to me. Spoke to me, and he was always
here a long time, and I greatly appreciate what Mark's
just a really good dude.
Yeah, I agree with that, man, 100%. All right, John, baseball talk here real quick. The Cats are 9-2. The pitching has been phenomenal so far. The weekend pitching has been phenomenal. They've got a 1-2-3 punch on Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
I will say this:
in games.
The hitting has been kind of back and forth. It
has. But the pitching without Tyler Bell, the pitching in this staff is what's going to keep them afloat, and they clearly have the pitching to possibly do that. They play EKU twice, Tuesday and Wednesday this week, and then they get to Citadel for a 3-game series. And then, John, already next weekend, SEC play starts.
Wow, man. It's college baseball goes quick, and you got the majors coming up. I think there's 24, 23 days till the major leagues play. Baseball season is here. It's going to get kind of rough for us. I tell Brad all the time, summer is a tough time for us because there's a lot of times where we go silent for about 2 or 3 weeks. It's just, it gets really slow.
We always do in the summertime.
We always do. And I'm going to say this about the SEC and baseball this year. You got Alabama that's really good. Mississippi State is absolutely outstanding. They're much improved this year. Arkansas, Tennessee's still good.
LSU.
SEC play is not going
Florida's
to be
never a slouch.
Mm-mm. The Gator Boys.
Yeah.
Jonathan
I
India.
mean, the SEC's always tough in baseball. It's loaded.
Brady Singer. He's on the Reds. Play for Florida. One of my favorite pitchers. So they've had some really good players come from there. Jonathan India was another one. Played for the Reds. Plays for the Royals now. So SEC has had a lot of dudes get in the league. And Kentucky has had some dudes get in the league. So
I mean, the big week for the Cats this week for tune-ups. They got 6 games between now and next weekend when you got to play Alabama next week. Weekend.
Alabama's even good. So
they are. So
mean,
it's a big week for the Cats, and we just want to wish them luck. And hopefully that pitching staff will keep up what they've been doing. And then softball, I just want to give them a shout out here, man. They've won 9 in a row. They are 15-4 right now. They have won 9 games in a row. Haley Nutter, a freshman, has 2 no-hitters already in her career.
Go Haley.
I mean,
Haley is a really good pitcher.
Yeah, and they are finding some hitting. They hit a grand slam yesterday. They're finding some hitting, and I mean, Lawson's got some pretty good freshmen on this team. They're young, but she's got some pretty good. She's got a hitter that's really good. I want to say her last name is Hammonds. I think it's Hammonds. I believe.
I don't think she's kin to me, but maybe not.
I think so. It might be with a D. Hammonds.
It might be.
I think. But I want to.
One more thing before we get off here. The volleyball team Saturday. I forgot to mention this. They got honored at halftime. No, it might not have been a halftime. It might have been in between the first half, second half. But they were national runner-ups this year. The volleyball team was, so they did bring home a runner-up trophy. Unfortunately, it kind of stunk the way the season ended, but Texas A&M
bring home a runner-up trophy. You do get a trophy for that.
Yep.
So it goes in the case as a runner-up. So big shout out to Coach Skinner and a great volleyball program, to be honest with you. They've got some big stuff planned for this year.
Saturday, I met Noah Washington, the 4-star out of Indiana. I met him pregame. He's being recruited by Mark Pope.
28 kid, so he's got a couple
28 kid. I talked to his parents this weekend. Hopefully in the near future, maybe we can. There's
some more rumors that Stokes might pull another visit for Kentucky. Tyron Stokes, the number one recruit, 2026.
That's the word. Who knows at this point?
There's just a lot going on, John. It's March, and we are right here at one of the most fun times of the year.
This is March.
I mean, there's just a lot that goes on. Oh, by the way, the transfer portal opens in just a little over a month.
Oh Lord! Why did you have to bring that up, Brad? Everything was going smooth tonight.
I mean, John, I'm going to need you. I'm going to need you to be on your horse. April 6th and 7th for about 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah, it's going to be like football, and it might be even worse than football. Let's be honest.
Yeah, it's going to be a time because we got girls and boys to keep up with, the men's and women's. So
I think's doing a really good job in women's sports. Talia Goodman.
Oh,
and I'm going to say this.
It's Talia.
Talia, that's right. Talia Goodman.
Talia, yeah.
I'm going to say this about that. She gets a lot of hate.
Hey, I love the girl, to be honest with you. I've met her many times.
She's a sweet girl. Loves the game of basketball.
Let's be honest, John. She just graduated college. She's like 22 years old. So all these all these people that like say such terrible things. This is a young girl, young woman that's trying to start her life. She doesn't have to. She went to school for something else. She doesn't have to do this. She does this because she loves the game. She loves following.
Then you always have the complaint, well, she got in because of her dad. No, she paved her own way in.
She's doing this. She's not like if it was because of her dad, she probably would be coming. She loves the women's game. She really does.
She does. And I just want to say to her right now, if she ever listens to this, keep going at it. Keep pressing, because I think
I talk to her every time I see her. Matter of fact,
one of the best. I think she's one of the best reporters out there.
I just commented on one of her things the other day, and she sent me a couple messages back on X. Like, I told her it'd be good to see her next time, and she responded back. I mean, she's a young girl, guys. I mean, she's trying to carve out a career. She loves what she does, and she's really good at it. Like, she follows all this talking about following the transfer portal.
I'll be frank with you. I don't know how she keeps up with the portal. You know,
the portal and all the stuff that she does, she's really, really good at it, to be honest with you, on the women's side. So if you're looking for portal news on the women's side, Talia Goodman is one of them to follow. I can tell you that.
Most definitely.
For
and
sure.
I will say this, Brad, while we're at the whole This Is March thing, grab your natural Richland pills.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure that Kentucky fans will have heart medication sitting next to them in this tournament.
Yeah.
There'll be plenty out there. Let's just say that.
All right, guys, we're going to wrap this up.
I might have to hold Brad down on in some of these games coming up.
I do want to give you guys a reminder that there will be no Friday game day pick'em this week. Before we wrap this up, I just want to give you guys a reminder. I will be in Greenville. John will be headed to Lexington. We will not be doing a game day pick'em like we normally do this week. So
Saturday is going to be a busy day. There's a lot going, senior day is going on. There's just so much happening Saturday.
John's going to get there early so he can cover senior day and everything. So you guys can look for that. A lot of posts and coverage of senior day at College SportsCast. I will say I will be doing a nightly live Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday from the women's SEC tournament. So if you're interested in that,
you're happy about this week. You know why? Because you won't have to talk to me on the phone as much as we do.
I'm going to be too busy.
You're going to be swamped, man. You ain't going to be. You ain't going to have time for your old boy Hammonds here.
No, not this week. I'll be driving and at the arena and watching games and covering and doing interviews and all kinds of stuff. So it's going to be a fun week.
Saturday to make sure you didn't fall in the river or something.
Yeah.
Oh goodness.
Just giving you guys a heads up on a couple of things this week. If you want to pay attention to the women's stuff, I will be doing lots of that at College SportsCast, and John will be covering the Florida game.
Well, and tomorrow night I'll be doing the Kentucky stuff from home. So, big game.
All right, guys. This has been Wildcat Weekly. This is week 28. Believe it or not, this is episode 61 of season 4.
Another thing I wanted to mention, we got some big news coming up that we'll share at a later date. There's some things at College SportsCast we're going to move around a little bit. So I'll let you all figure that out until me and Brad decide to announce it.
Yeah, it's just a busy week. So we'll do that at a later date. So, all right, guys, we will see you next week for our Wildcat Weekly. Maybe we'll have a couple of big wins and a run in the SEC tournament for the girls. We'll wait and see.
Yep.
Have a good week, guys.
Have a good one.